All right, Tony, another draft has come and gone, and I don't know if it's relief or what your emotions are once the draft is finally over.
Oh, it's a lot of satisfaction, to be honest. I think we addressed a lot of things in the past 2 days and got a couple of terrific players, so all good on our end.
All right, talk about your staff a little bit, just in terms of how much work goes into the preparation to finally get to this day and select new players that are going to be future Blues.
It's countless hours. We're working already on the 25 drafts, so it's an ongoing process. The buy-in from the entire staff, top to bottom, is terrific. We're all in it for the same goal, to create winning hockey players for the St. Louis Blues. So it is a lot of hours. It's frustrating that we can only do certain players by video, but we've got to do the best that we can. So as I mentioned, just tremendous top to bottom for the effort put forward by the guys.
You take 4 defensemen, but you get a lot of size. You added a lot of size in this year's draft class. Was that by design?
Well, it's certainly beneficial that they are big-bodied kids. There's certainly some physical maturity on a couple of them to come, but the height thing never hurts. But we're drafting talented hockey players at the end of the day. So.
All right, let's talk about your first-round pick, Adam Yurich. What do you like about him? And how much have you watched him play over the course of the last several months?
Again, going back, that's one of the players that we had a book on coming into the season. So we've seen him up through his injury at the World Junior that curtailed his season. But we've seen him numerous times. Jan Vopet's seen him as a country mate. Tremendous player, able to play a two-way game, intelligent player, good puck poise. Despite a little slighter, slender frame at the moment, we expect him to fill out, but he does play aggressive. He pushes the pace, he gets actively involved both ends, and he'll throw an occasional hit, so lots to like there.
He had the knee injury, and obviously you're comfortable with where he's at with his knee right now, but will we be able to see him in the development camp? When do you think he'll be able to get back on the ice and resume skating?
Yeah, I'm not promising the timeline for that, but we've got the medical clearance that the long-term prognostication is fine. So,
your first 3 picks were all defensemen. Let's talk about Colin Ralph, who played his U16 year here in St. Louis with Carshield and also went to Kirkwood High School, so he's got some local connections. But what do you like most about him?
Well, he, as you mentioned earlier, he's one of those players with that tremendous size, but he's also very good mobility, plays a simplified game. He can add a lot on a two-way, steady style defender. So upside's great. Going to attend St. Cloud University. Long-term upside here is really good. The St. Louis connection was interesting to discover, and that's beneficial also.
Lucas Fischer, he's got the bloodlines. Of course, his dad played a long time in the NHL with the Red Wings, Yuri Fischer, and certainly has a lot of poise and composure for just an 18-year-old kid.
Yeah, there certainly was games when you would go into Sarnia, home or away, and catch a game with Lucas' performance was outstanding. Because he was a young defender on a team not surrounded by a whole bunch of experience. He was occasionally exposed, but you catch those games when he's on his game, then the upside is tremendous. So he can provide a lot for a two-way game also, so lots to like there.
All right, when you get into round 3, you start adding some offensive players. Andre Kasys, a Czech kid who played over in Finland for a couple of years. What do you like about him?
Yeah, Andre, that's a tough season again where he came down with it wasn't a case of mono, but a blood issue that curtailed part of his season. He came back and played U18 Worlds. We got another opportunity for some late season views. We like the intelligence on this player. He can play all situations, reads the game, skates well, good size frame to fill out in the long run. So.
Adam Jecko, he is a Czech native, but played over here in North America in the Western League.
Yeah, and again, one of those kids you'll get on your tippy toes to speak to eye to eye because he's a big body. Put up some pretty reasonable numbers for a first-year player. Again, I think he can do a little bit of everything for you, and he moves very well for a kid that size.
What about Thomas Mirsic, another Western Hockey League player?
Yes, Thomas, a player we've seen for a while, productive season. he's got some sneaky good skill, and he's a very well-conditioned kid. I think there's a pretty good upside there as an offensive player. So.
Tony, when you come into these drafts, you never know how the chips are going to fall, but did things kind of go the way you expected it to go?
Well, you create the list, best player available and such, but you still have an idea of some ranges where you expect players to fall third round, fourth round, and such. So we were certainly pleased that the players that we selected were available, and we spent a lot of time on them, so they were the ones we wanted.
What's the next step now for you? You mentioned you're already compiling the list for 2025. I mean, no time to rest, is there?
There's summer camps begin this month here in July, whether it's U17 and 18 events, and then we turn around early August and we're up in Edmonton for the Helenka tournament, which is a big major kickoff event. So a couple days into development camp for myself to see our kids from last year in this draft class, and then before you know it, you're back at it. So.
How excited are you to see them coming up this week in development camp? And what do you expect from these kids in development camp? I mean, it's a whirlwind, right? They spend all this time preparing for the draft. They hear their name, and then they're on the ice a couple days later.
Yeah, it's not it's a showcase for them. It's the first step. Create some relationships with future teammates, create relationships with the developmental coaches. So there's just begin the learning curve. They're talented players. They were selected for a reason. So and the great thing is they've got people on staff that believe in them. So it's a long run, long horizon, but this is step one, and here we go.
Yeah, and a great opportunity for the fans to see the newest prospects as well. So we hope we see a lot of fans out there as well. Thanks for doing this, Tony.
Pleasure.